Okay, Anna Karenina. So I just finished the book. As you can see over here, I'm not going to show it. I got this from my school library. So there you go. But I just finished it, and it was really good. Um, but I think sometimes you read summaries and they kind of just like say, "Oh, like this stuff happened," but not this one. I'm just going to say, "Oh, what happened?" I'm going to spoil everything because it's good. Um, but yeah, nah. Basically, what it's about is it's about this woman, Anna. Well, it doesn't start with Anna. It actually starts with this guy called Oblonsky, and he cheats on his wife with his governess because he's just like that. But then, basically, what happened afterwards is that, um, like, she finds out, and she's like really pissed at him. And so she's like,
Oh
they're like bickering, and then
hell
what's it? Anna comes, and she's like, "Oh, I want to make Anna Karenina." She like comes off the train, and she's like, I'm gonna make it all right." And then, but when she's getting off the train, she's talking with this like nice lady, and it turns out she's the mom of this guy Vronsky, and then Vronsky is like becomes really major later. But then like that's the whole thing. But then what happens is like she solves the whole thing. She's like saying Dolly's like Dolly, which is Oblonsky's wife. She's like she's like man, like my life is my life. Like you saved, you've done it, Anna. You know, you saved me. But that's the start of the book. But then afterwards, what happens with the book is that you have um you have Anna, and she's really unhappy in her marriage. So she's married to this guy called Karenin. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Russian. That's where you get Anna Karenina from, because that's like yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, it's the whole thing. Anyways, what happens is that basically she's like, oh, talks to this Vronsky, they had a ball. And then she's like, oh, you know what? I actually really like Vronsky. He's like really hot. But then basically she's like, oh, he's so hot. And then she realizes like, oh, I'm actually married to Karen. I don't like him because he's like this. He's cold. He's this political guy. I like to think about him as have you ever like seen Star Wars and it's like Grand Moff Tarkin and it's just like, but no, he's just like really cold guy and like no one like Anna hates him. So they like, so she's like doing this whole thing. So her and Vronsky are like, anyways, that's the A plot. B plot, B plot, you have this guy called Levin. And kind of, he's kind of like a loser at the start. He thinks about stuff a lot. It's kind of like a philosopher, but he's not a real philosopher. He's also like an atheist. And basically, he really likes this girl, Kitty Shabatsky, who I think is a friend. But basically, he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna propose. I'm gonna propose to this girl. Or no, before the ball, that I'm gonna propose to her because I like her. Um, but nah, it doesn't go well. And she sees Vronsky. She's like, man, this Vronsky guy is hot. But so she rejects him. And then he like goes all depressed. He's like, man, my life's not worth living anymore. Kitty's rejecting me. And so he goes on like a whole farming life. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the countryside and I'm gonna work my land because he's like a landowner. He's rich. Um, and he's this land. And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this now. I'm just gonna work the land. So he tills the land and blah. And he's like, he really enjoys it. But there's like a whole thing. He's like, man, should we like think about how efficient our peasants are and stuff like that? But no, but that's the thing. And then boom, we go back to the A plot. And then I'm probably skipping out a lot of details, but basically what happens is they're at a horse race. So Anna's at the horse race and she's watching. It's like so already there's stuff circulating around about her and Vronsky. They're like shooting each other looks. They're talking to each other like, oh, like, oh, what do you think, Anna? Like, oh, what do you think, Vronsky? Like, and they've got this like whole thing going on. Everyone can tell that, they like each other. They're like, you like him, but not like that. They're like more like, like because they're rich people, so it's like like shooting side eyes. Like, Miss Karenina, she's been cheating on her husband with this guy. And I don't think like everyone's like, oh, it's messed up, but I don't think anyone really blames him because Karen's kind of like, everyone's like, oh, he's a respectable guy. But basically, she's at the horse race. Boom, Vronsky's there. Ha, ha, ha. He keeps visiting. He even visits Anna before the race. He's like, man, I gotta get my nerves down. So he's riding on the horse. He goes to the horse race. He's riding, riding, riding. Boom, he gets beat. His horse falls down. He's done for. And everyone's like, well, everyone like, no one really like cares that much about Vronsky. People rush up to him, but everyone notices it. Like Anna, especially, because she's like, oh my god, my life's ruined. Like Vronsky's fell down, and everyone's like, okay, like he's some guy, but it's not like world shattering. Like he's just some other guy, like some other nobleman who's like fallen off his horse. It's fine. But she's like, I can't take it anymore. This is awful. Right. And then everyone, and so then Karen, they go into the carriage. Karen's like, so Anna, you have anything to say for yourself? Like, do you think you got carried away a little bit too far about the whole like looking at Vronsky thing? Just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I like him. I cheated on you. What are you gonna do about it? And then he's like dumbfounded. He's like, this is absolutely, I cannot believe this has happened. So basically what happens after that is he just like, it's like, you know what? Give me some time to think about it, and I'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days. And so then, boom, 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 that's like a whole thing. And then afterwards, hop back to the B plot. Back to the B plot. You have Levin, and Levin's like, he's doing the whole farming thing. He's doing the whole like thinking about like the land and agriculture. He's meeting people. Like, how do I become a better farmer? And then afterwards, he sees Kitty, and then he's like, oh my gosh, this is my life. Like, what am I doing farming? Like, this is what my life's really about. And so then basically, I think he runs into Dolly, and she's like, you know what? Kitty actually like, she actually likes you, and she takes it back because during this time she's been, thinking she's like, oh, you know what? I actually like don't like Vronsky. Like, he actually likes Anna. Like, I don't know why I rejected Levin because it's like the reasonable option. And so basically, he meets up with her again, and then they profess their love for one another, but in like a real romantic way, which like they write it on like blackboards and they're like spelling stuff out with the initials. And they say like, "Oh, do you love me? Like, would you like to see me? Whatever, like something along those lines." And then eventually they're basically like, "You know what? Let's get married." So that's like all of them. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get married. Like, this is gonna be great." Meanwhile, with Anna and stuff, and Anna, she's like thinking she and Karen are like, okay, well, we're going to get a divorce, but how are we going to go about this? Because Anna wants to have a divorce, but it's going to look bad for us for Vronsky. Everyone in society is going to make he's going to be the like ultimate clown. Everyone's going to make fun of him because they're going to be like, oh, your beautiful wife, she's like she cheated on you, like, and you're just going to like, and you're a Christian too, so you're going to like divorce her, like, really? Are you going to do that? But you know, that's like a whole like that, everything like. But yeah, no, no, no. So basically, that whole thing is like takes up like most of the book, where it's just like, oh, we need to get divorced. Oh, but like, do we need to get divorced because it looks really bad for us? And Anna's like, I don't want to give up my son. So for the time being, they just say, you know what, we'll just separate, and it's just like not get divorced. And so basically, Anna goes out and she like goes to meet Vronsky, and like that whole thing, and then it's like Karen's getting kind of pissed off. He's like, "Oh well, my wife keeps cheating on me, and I'm not a fan of it. But it's like, what can you do?" And then Anna gets really sick, and then like I don't know, I remember like something happens. Anna gets sick, and then like Vronsky comes back because he's like, oh my god, maybe I shouldn't get divorced from you. She's like, forgive me for everything. I'm so sorry for cheating on you. And then Vronsky's there too. He's like, and then, and then like, Karen actually has to pry open his hands because he's crying so much. He's like, oh, I can't take it anymore. But yeah, like, and then that happens, and he forgives him. But then Anna's like cheating on him again, right after. So he's like, nah, I'm done. I'm done. And like basically, blah blah blah, a bunch of stuff happens. Vronsky and Anna are just like they flee to Italy because they're like, you know what, like, yeah, we're done with this. Like they run away and they go to Italy. And then when they go to Italy, Anna starts realizing she's like, wait, because they keep going out. But she's like, you know what? I think Vronsky's like starting to like not like me anymore. Like I think she's like it's like wearing off on him. Like you know, they're still doing the whole romantic thing, being in Italy, meeting people. You know, they go to an artist, get Anna painted. Vronsky takes up painting himself, but he really misses society because he's like the guy back in Russia. Like he's talking to people, but you know, he wants to keep his bachelor parties going on, but Anna just wants to be with him, like in the countryside, you know. So that's a whole thing. Basically, just like, you know what, I'm doubting him. Then basically, that's like then, and then afterwards, we go back to like the Levin plot. Levin plot, basically, what happens is like it's like the B plot. But no, with Levin, he's like, oh, like after they get married, because Levin has this like little brother who's kind of like, uh, he's kind of like the failure of the family, Nikolai, and basically he's like really sick, and he's like, oh, I need to go see my brother. And he's like, let me go. I'm your wife. Like we should be. He's like, no, 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 no. Please don't come. I don't want to show you Nikolai. He's like kind of like a bum. He's like, nah, take me with me. Take me with you. Yes. So she's like, okay, take me with you. And so they go. And then so Nikolai's there. He's like really sick. In the past he was, you know, okay. He was like already starting to look kind of rough. You know, he's been out in society, not the good type, he's like the bad type. You know. And then he sees him, and like Nikolai's looking bad. He's like he's on his last legs, and they're like they don't know what to do. Kitty's like trying to help them. It's like, oh, you know, let's get him cleaned up. Let's stay by him. But nah, it doesn't pan out. Eventually, Nikolai dies because you know, yeah, he dies, and Levin like goes back, and that's like a whole thing. But anyways, cut back to Anna, and her marriage is like this is not going well. Like she like she's losing on both ends. Vronsky's going out every night, going out like he doesn't want to be with her, and she misses her son really bad. She misses her son Seryoja, like really really bad. So she even like sneaks into her old house to go see him. But then she has to go away because Karen comes back to come looking, and he's really upset with her too because you know it's like you've blown this whole thing up. We've been going over this divorce thing for a long long time, and so she feels like she's really stuck. She's like, oh, I don't know where to go. And Vronsky doesn't want me, and Karen doesn't want me. What do I do? And that's like this whole thing, and it like takes up a bunch of the book. But then cut back to Levin, and then like Levin, like he has children, like you know, and there's like this whole arc of just like him and his like wife being pregnant, blah blah blah. And there's also this part where they like go hunting with Oblonsky and this other guy. I forgot his name, but he's just this like annoying kid. But yeah, that's like a whole thing. And eventually, boom, 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 we keep going. And then Anna finds out. And Anna gets like, she's starting to get really, like, she's going crazy. She hasn't been out in society, which she's used to. And she's just been at home. Vronsky doesn't love her anymore. That's what she feels, at least. And she starts going delirious. She's like, she becomes like, well, I don't know. I mean, by at least by Vronsky's standards, becomes kind of unreasonable. It's like, I want you to be home. I want you to be home with me. Have you been talking like have you two been talking to women out in society? And like Vronsky's like, oh, maybe. Like, no, no, no. I love you. I love you. And then Anna's like, oh, well, if you love me so much, why is she with me all the time? And that's like a whole thing. And then eventually Anna loses it. She's like, you know what? We need to like go back. We need to go back into the country. Like we can't be out here in like Moscow or St. Petersburg, whatever it is, with you going out to society, getting with all these people, talking that while I'm just sitting at home. Like I'm the embarrassment, and you try to get me to get a divorce. Like so, like that's like a whole thing. But she goes crazy, and at the really end, she like Vronsky tries to postpone them leaving. She's like, I need to go see my mother before you go. I need to go see my mother. But Anna's done. She's like, I'm not having it. She's like, you know what? I'm not living this life anymore. So basically, what she does is she goes back to the train station that she gets on at the really start of the story. And at the really start of the story, there's this part where they're all by the train, like they're all getting off the train, and they see this guy fall off onto the tracks. And then Anna thinks all the way back to the really start of the story, where she sees this guy fall onto the tracks. And she looks down at the track and she's like pulled in, like it's like the ring tempts her, but instead it's like the rail. And she looks down and she's like, oh, you know what? I like yeah, I can't live this life anymore. And so she jumps, and then Tolstoy's describes it as like a candle going out, like a candle in the wind. But um, yeah, no, she falls down, she dies. And that's the end of Anna Karenina. And then they go back to Levin, and he's talking about like, oh, he's talking about like his life. He's still thinking. Goes back about his marriage with Kitty, and but they're going pretty good. And at the really end, Levin basically just sort of summarizes things as like he just says, I've been doing all this thinking. There's a Tide book because he does a lot of thinking every time he's always thinking about something. It's always like, oh, does Kitty really love me? Like, are these agricultural practices good? Is God real? Like, what is religion? Like, he's thinking about that the whole time. And at the really end, he's like, you know what? Spent all this time thinking, but while I've been doing this, I've also been spending my time living. And he realizes happiness is in the living, not the thinking. But that's at least what I took out of it. I didn't read any like analytical summaries or anything. This is just like me going off like what I thought of the book. I mean, that's like what 900 pages basically is. 900, well, I mean, mine was 900 pages. It was basically just 900 pages of this like Vronsky and going like, oh, you should get a divorce. But I don't want to get a divorce. It's like, oh, but you should get a divorce. Like, get a divorce from your husband. And it's like, and this whole thing. And while Levin's like, oh, what, and then yeah, and it ends, and then just that awful way with like Anna falling onto the tracks. So yeah, that's Anna Karenina. If you want to read the book, like it took me a long time. It took me uh like I was reading like 2 hours every night for like 2 weeks. So yeah, it's a long read, but you get to the end. Like, is it a better way to spend your time? Probably. Like it is kind of just like a generic kind of love story in the end. Like you could probably watch a TV show and get like a similar experience. But nah, it's pretty good. I rated it. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it three. Nah, you know what? I'll give it 9 out of 10. There we go. Is it the best book of all time? Maybe. Probably not. But was it fun to read? Yeah, and I don't know. I can tell the story now whenever I go out. And I can brag about reading the book. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it.